transferability of the lease. The challenge that we have there is our lease is with an individual or an entity. If they transfer that, it is still the city's responsibility to have a lease with the current owner. Again, I cannot find a history where the city has denied or turned somebody down for a lease if we had the property available. And while I understand the concern, we do not have a history in the City of Independence of denying that. So I understand it, but I think the city has a responsibility to managing public property. I don't anticipate a council moving forward having more of an issue than the councils in the past with addressing the requests and the needs for that. The term of the lease is set at 20 years. It's long enough to be sufficient to give somebody comfort with putting their own money into building a hangar, but not so long as that it would be burdensome to future councils. Again, renewing the lease, I have not seen a case where, with the T hangar, for example, which is our only real example to use, where somebody has not had their lease renewed if they so desired. So we're trying to address all the concerns, make sure that we meet the needs of the people that might have an interest, and still protect public property. And with that in mind, this is the non-commercial hangar lease. It is basically for the land if somebody wants to put a hangar in. If there's anybody that wants to put one in, today we do not have a taxiway that is designed for the location of these new hangars. We understand that. But we've had, apparently had some interest. We wanted to put this out there, so if anybody wanted to build a hangar, let them get started right away. If there is such a situation out there, I would encourage anybody to come in and talk to us, because there are some things that we might be able to do to work together to get the taxiway put in when they want the hangar put up. But again, our goal is to try and make it available for those people that have an interest in building a private hangar on public land.
You've heard from the people that actually did have interest and the money to do so, and they didn't want anything to do with it. Did they?
Well, I don't have the ability to twist anybody's arm. I can make the opportunity
So
available.
We haven't really compromised any, have we?
Compromise to the extent that I think that we are able to, yes. We have not.
I think it's a very poor lease. My personal opinion.
I appreciate that. I'm not sure how much further we go short of saying, look, we're interested, we're going to do everything we can to work with these folks.
I think it only benefits one person out there.
Who would that benefit?
The FBO, I would think.
The lease is between the City of Independence
yeah,
and
but now you're controlling any commerce going on out there under this lease. In other words, you're saying you can't run a commercial business out there.
The commercial business aspect is controlled by the FAA. Our responsibility is to meet the FAA standards and to ensure that they're being met by anybody who's doing a commercial business out there. I'm not aware of a commercial business that has been denied access to the airport or use of the airport at this point.
There has been. I'm telling you that in the future, somebody wants to start one, you close the door.
But they can get
Is there a way that, let's say, next year, a commercial business comes in and wants to
Okay,
build
guys,
something?
we have somebody talking. We can't.
Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, they can apply for a permit, and if it's granted, they can have it out there, but they have to meet the qualifications and the regulations set out there.
In order to continue to receive FAA funding, which is a 90-10 match, it's very significant. You have to meet FAA standards on all aspects of the airport, including your airport layout plan, your capital improvement plan, all the pieces that they require not only for planning but also for the operation. My concern is if you don't require a commercial permit and you don't have something specific to what it is that goes on out there, how are we as a city going to ensure that we don't lose that federal funding by allowing somebody to do something that does not meet FAA standards? Again, the track record is it's never been denied. I'm not sure what would cause us to deny it. I understand, Denny, your concern with the FBO. This is a lease between the City of Independence and the people that want to build a hangar. It is not with the FBO. And the reason I'm comfortable with that is because I can look at the history of the city and what the city has done at the airport. the FBO has changed. I have less confidence there only because that can change from year to year. The city is here, and our track record is a lot longer.
And if somebody wants to have a commercial hangar or whatever, that's between the city and them as well.
And they would
That's
have to
correct.
meet the standards it needs to do for, yeah.
Are they the same,
So
are they
this
the
is
same
just-
standards as a non-commercial lease?
The standards are not the same for commercial and non-commercial. If you have a commercial lease, you have to have a public restroom, you have to have I believe you have to have a public waiting room. I mean, there's some things that we have to provide that currently are not out there. For example, our T-hangars are not suitable for a commercial lease. They don't meet the FAA standards, as I understand it. So, again, it's not about controlling commerce, it's about making sure that we control the standards that have to be met so that we don't alienate the FAA. And if somebody's been turned down for a commercial permit, I can't find it. But we do have the ability to allow it. That depends on you folks and your successors.
So let's say that somebody just goes ahead and builds one of these hangars. You say the standards are much different for commercial. So now he wants to put a commercial piece, some kind of a business in there. He's gonna have to remodel that whole hangar just to suit that childish whim, right?
The childish whim happens to be through the FAA. It's not in our hands. We have to,
I'm gonna check on that.
Right.
Trust me.
I trust you, Denny, to check on it. It's something that we have to adhere to. But if we are going to have a commercial lease, commercial does not mean that a business has a hangar. That's not commercial. A commercial lease means that they are going to conduct a business out of that. It's like having a storefront.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm fine with that, but what we can do is follow what the FAA has set out in front of us.
And what we have before us tonight on the agenda is for the non-commercial lease agreement, and that's what we will need a motion to adopt the resolution for. It is not a commercial. I have a motion by Dallenbach, second by Grover. You need a roll call on this? Okay.
Dallenbach?
Yes.
Grover?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Holland?
Yes.
Liddy?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Absolutely not.
Hill?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is official statement for general obligation loans. Do we have somebody here to work on this? No? No, okay. So I need a motion to adopt the resolution for the general obligation loans.
This is for the official statement for the general obligation loans. This is the information that is put in front of those people that are wishing to bid on a bond sale that is proposed in the near future.
And you should have that on your iPad for the information. Is it?
The proposed bond sale is for $2.2 million. It is for our projects, including the street projects for last year, for this year, refunding bonds, et cetera. It's the projects that we have under our financial statement. This is not approving the bonds. This is the official statement approving the information that is put in front of those people that may wish to bid on the bonds.
Okay.
Why does the money, is it because of a plan or something? Why does it vary so much per year? You know, it kind of starts out at 2.25, then goes to